Hi guys, it's we are back.
Yeah, what is it? Episode 8?
8.
Holy
now we're
moly.
officially
halfway through the season. Oh man.
It's crazy. And I wanted to say this, and I'll say this too also on stories today, that if you want, because we are wrapped up with guests for the season. So if you want to be a guest next season, we have on our Instagram bio our link there. You click on that, like it opens up, and I think it's the last one that has the form to be a guest. So be our guest.
Be our guest.
Be our guest for season 5. So that's that.
That is wow.
How you doing, girl?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm going. I'm going. I'm
going.
You're going? I'm going. I'm doing.
You just got here.
I'm doing it. I'm going good.
Yeah, I'm going good.
Let's do a quick mental health
check-in.
Rating.
6-7.
Ooh,
I know.
That's a big up from last week. Yay.
But I will we'll get into it
why.
more. Yeah.
I think I'm still at 8.
And we got our spring nails on.
We got spring nails.
Yep. The little flower powered.
So you have like a daisy, right? I guess I don't know. I guess this is like a form of daisy.
And it's so funny because I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And then I was thinking, oh my God, I want to do lavender because I love it. I'm like, nope. Cindy already got lavender. So when she gets hers done, when she gets hers off,
when I got the lavender.
Yeah. And I was like,
I think what I'm gonna do next is all clear like that, and then I want flowers on every nail, and then I may do like different one because I really like how it looks. And guys, this is budget friendly nails, UV nails, and the key is to do a clear base, like a French or clear base. So when it grows out,
you don't really
it lasts. So I've been doing mine. I had to do mine last design was 3 weeks, but I usually go every 4 to 5 weeks. So
I have the gel. So I do the gel and I do it on my regular nails because I have long ass nail beds. But I go every 2 weeks because that's when I go do my hair.
But do you feel like the gel?
No, it doesn't chip.
See, with me, it was bad. Like within a week, my things look crazy because I'm just a savage. Like when it comes to like cleaning and in the kitchen, and I forget that I have like nice nails on. I forget to put on gloves.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like for like my nails, like when it does chip or whatever, like because they grow really fast, I'll just file them down and you don't notice. Okay. But everybody's
like, your nails always look fresh. Yeah,
that's one thing. I'm like, I'm sorry. I feel like there's like
it's just a little bit. You know what? Another trick is breathe into your hand and then pat it down. And a little tiny bit of hairspray goes a long way.
Oh yeah, I did it this morning.
I've never done the hairspray before because I'm like scared it'll make my hair hard.
I did it this morning and I used my little shine.
It's just because like you literally, it's fresh.
It is fresh with my Dominican products, which I love. It's straight from the island.
I love it.
And look how soft. Touch it.
I love it.
Anyways, what is your matcha tea?
I was going to ask you yours first.
I could go first. So, as you guys know, I am embarking on this journey of Babs the Builder over here. So I went to IKEA.
Babs the Builder, can she fix it?
Yes, I can. So I went to IKEA and I bought 2 Billy bookcases. And
do you know what if you don't know what a Billy bookcase is,
get your ass on Pinterest.
She'll let you know. Yeah.
So it is the most popular, and it's so like versatile. You could do so many things. So I bought 2 of those to anchor my desk because I'm having like a double workstation. So I have my work, and then I have my crafty work and Migas Podcast work and everything. So
I'm trying to make room for 2 screens, but apparently it ain't looking too good over here.
So I wanted to bring, like, for me, decor and all of that stuff really brings me so much joy. So I sold a lot of stuff on Facebook Market. So don't knock it till you try it. If you're on Facebook Market and see some of my stuff, let me know because I got a lot of shit on there. And I've been clearing out the clutter to help with my mental health and creating a space. I keep looking over here because my desk is over here.
Yes. If you're watching on YouTube.
If you're watching on YouTube. Creating a space that makes me happy to come into, truly allows me to bring my best foot forward, my best work forward, and just gives me so much comfort and ease. So I did that. And then the entryway of my house, it was like a shoe dump, like just crap always dumped there. I had tried like using the cubes and I made like a little makeshift locker room kind of thing, but it did not go with my decor. It looked too kiddish. So I got one Facebook find and then one actual IKEA find, the shoe cabinets, and now it looks so elevated.
It does.
It looks so good. And it's like, even with the kids stuff, like I use the kids stuff, but like around my decor, like to keep it clean and you know, clutter free, which, because my brain's already cluttered. So, but that was literally the highlight of my week, and it helped during that really dark period because y'all, I built this fucking furniture with a glass of wine and sobbing because I was just going through it. And I was like, I need a release, but I also need to be doing something to keep me distracted. So I was like,
I love it though. I hope you filmed yourself out just for yourself, just to have it. Like,
I have more furniture I'm going to be building. So I'm sure I'll be crying more, but I was literally like releasing and like, I was,
I love that.
And then I put on the,
I'm fucking dead. I wish I was here.
You'd be like, just
I'm like, yeah, and I'll just be your what's your sommelier? Like, this wine pairs well with that belly.
You're like, this wine pairs well with the saltiness of your tears.
With your release. Girl, I'm excited to get my belly bookcase for sure, because you have inspired me to just get it. Because remember, I was like, I want to do that whole back wall, like behind my desk, or I guess like behind me as I'm in my work desk. But I'm like, I think it's just gonna be too much. So then I also have like the Peloton there. I have now a little table for Caleb, which I know in the summer is gonna go back on the deck. But I was like, I'll start off with one. Yeah. Because now that I finally got my work printer that is sitting on top of my desk space where I had all like my books stacked there. So now all those books are sitting on the bed, and I'm just like, again, and it's not like crazy clutter, but it's still like, and I'm working, and it's like,
you know what you can do? Because you do have that really nice wall too. You can do like a big Billy bookcase, and then they have like a small one.
Yeah, I was
so
looking
you could
at
like
that
do
too.
two small, and then another like, and it's an anchor, and then that little piece you could do like a nice wood on top, and then put your printer, like Caleb's like toys in there, or whatever, and that'll look so. Let me do it.
Let's start off with the first book, and I'll see how the space feels, and see if I can add the two more.
Okay, because I built that one in 30 minutes. Like the first one, I was like, oh, this is not that bad, and then the second one, I was like,
oh my god, once you get it,
I'm like trying to be the task rabbit for Billy bookcases.
That happened like with these things from the ones from IKEA. Yeah. The same thing, because now I think I have
we built those together.
Three of them. Yes, so I was like, okay, this is similar.
But doesn't it look so nice?
Yeah. But wait, now you added the other one. You see?
Yeah. And it doesn't even look like.
Because at first you were like, and then it looks good.
There you go.
You need to be here. You need to be at the Migas studio to like really visualize what the heck we're talking about.
Yeah, seriously. You're like, well, maybe we'll do it behind the scenes.
Oh yeah,
we'll do it behind the scene of the work studio. Like,
we'll do that, and then we could post it on Monday. Like, yes, we'll make note of that. We'll get it recorded somewhere. Because I know we say we're gonna do a lot of things.
Listen, when you have a brain this big, and then it's two big brains.
There's a lot of ideas. So my matcha tea, and I'll try to run through it as fast as possible, because then at first I was like, oh, what did I do? It's just, again, big brain, but big brain farts too. Wait, that reminds me, there was this one girl that said, I can't really be trusting my intuition. She was like, I could barely trust my gas and my GERD. I was cracking the because I was like, damn, girl, you right. It's like, how am I supposed to listen to my intuition if I don't know what my intuition is really trying to tell me? So this weekend, I had a long weekend this past, President's Day weekend. Unfortunately, I know Nora didn't, but she still got shit fucking done, which is really impressive. She did that shit with no days off. Okay, so
and my kids were here.
Yeah,
so they were here.
That's
yeah. Like, no, you guys don't work around me. You work around me.
Yes, that's what that girl Emma.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great reminder. Okay, so then these past 2 Fridays, my parents always do Happy Friday, which is they just get their favorite wine or beer, or whatever, and they just kind of hang out. And it's always just kind of like them two at their home, or who's ever over on Friday, like Happy Friday, be part of it. Lately, these past 2 Happy Fridays for them, they've been coming over. Like the last time I cooked, and this time my mom cooked because Coven was craving locrio de arenque. I don't know what the heck. No, it's fish. It's really smelly.
Very, very.
Yeah. I don't want to say, I don't know if it's like hot or something. I'm not a fan of it. And I didn't say anything. So I just had let them have it. And then once it was done, like once the table was set to eat, everybody's like, come sit down. I was just like, I'll sit.
But I don't like it.
Yeah, and then I eventually said it, and Calvin was like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me you don't like it? Like, we could have made something else. And I was just like,
But
you said you were craving it. I was like, I'm not going to sit there and like stomp on your freaking parade. And my mom was more than willing to make it. So it worked out, and they've been like sleeping over. So it's been nice waking up Saturday morning with them, doing breakfast. But at the same time, then Caleb has been missing his little gym classes, and I'm just like, ah. And then
you're creating these beautiful memories.
Yes, and that bonding time. Yeah, I know. So I was just like, again, trying to balance that out. And then so then that Saturday celebrated one of my best friend's birthdays. Jellica. Yes. Oh my God. Just
so proud of her.
And I was literally telling her, I was like, I'm holding back tears right now because, again, she is a woman that has been through it. Like, I literally call her a warrior of life because of her resiliency. Like, she's had all the shit thrown at her, so many curveballs and like all around, and she still like came out the trenches, and she's still digging herself out of it, but making it obviously look flawless. But in reality, like her close friends like know all the nitty gritty that it took for her to get there. So just seeing her and being able to celebrate her in her new home, it was just, again, so beautiful to be there. And I loved too, like we were just playing all the games, and I was just like leaning back watching. But people were taking notes. They were like, you have not gotten up to play one game. So then they had this game, and I've never, I think, seen it before. But again, I guess because of TikTok and Instagram.
You blow the candles?
No, that one I've been seeing, I feel like since like last summer. But the head, shoulders,
I played that
cup.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, like I really got to be on my game. So I'm happy because when we did it 3 times, I freaking won. And then even the girl was like, you fast. And I was just like, I'm proud of myself. I didn't know my reflexes were. I was like, again, that military, military kicking in. And then President's Day on Monday. Well, Sunday, I think it was just like a chill, lazy day. I took Caleb to his gym class. I'm trying to really remember Sunday. I feel like it was just a fucking blur, and I probably did something important. But here we are. And I guess I also took it like lazy since I know I had that Monday off. Monday, Caleb was also off from school because unfortunately it's not a daycare where it's always open. It's a freaking whole school. And they were like, yeah, we're closed. So I'm like, crap, what am I going to do with this kid? And I remember I was like trying to see if like Ollie was off to get them together or something.
Ollie and Elena were both off, but I was working.
Yeah, so I was just like, okay, that's not going to work out.
So yeah, I literally just was like, you know what? Because I take away their iPads Monday through Friday. Well, Friday evening I give it back to them when they come back from school. But I was like, you guys can have that.
Right.
Here's your fucking iPads. Get away from me. But then I brought them down here to play.
Nice.
Yeah, but they knew they had to clean up.
Good. Well, yeah, you gotta
clean up.
Set those boundaries, set those rules. So then just decided to, I was like, let me do a coffee date with Caleb. And then after that,
so cute.
I loved it. I've been dying to go to that coffee shop. So I was like, I was just like, I've been waiting. I was like, let me just go. And it was so crowded. It was crowded. Like I was hoping that because it's a very eclectic cafe. They have like actual like living room furniture. Then they had like the stool tables with the high chairs, like the bar stool chairs. So that's what we had to sit on. So I was like, please don't fall off of this chair because again, it was pretty tall. So that was the only thing available at the time. So we just chilled there for a bit. Definitely looking forward to going back. And now that I'm aware, but again, also aware, we got there also like it was almost like 1:00. And I was hoping to get there at 10. Yeah, but I was hoping to get there like at 10 a.m. But no, I got there with the rest of the crowd and parking was decent. So I'm glad I got to scope that out and then sat there as well. I think this is what we did on Sunday. I think it was on Sunday we started watching The War on Children. If you haven't watched it, please go to thewaronchildren.com. It is something
we'll link it below.
Yes, it is something that everyone, even if you're not a parent, needs to watch. Again, we need to be informed so we can have the confidence to speak up and advocate for ourselves, for our children, for our family. Because even like sharing this on my stories, on my personal stories the other day, the stories that I was hearing back, for instance, of things that doctors are asking children.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel this way or that way? I'm like, are you kidding me? And that mom didn't know how to respond to the doctor again, because it's a doctor.
Yeah.
And you feel like, oh, I have to be professional. I have to be. No, you can graciously address these professionals.
Yes.
Because just because they're a professional does not mean that they are correct or right. Just, again, advocate for yourself, inform yourself, equip yourself with those tools so you can confidently respond back. And clearly, you see how strong I feel about this. That's how fucking serious it is. And then another trending thing.
We went down
the rabbit hole. And thank you to Liz for putting us on. This is a rabbit hole that we both recommend to go down on. You know, it is Easter coming up. It's bunny season.
Miss Resta took us on a whole roller coaster of a ride with this menace to society that is still out here, most likely trying to con somebody else. But you know what's so crazy? At least he did not get Tinder swindler level.
Yeah.
But he ugly, so it doesn't matter. But like the Tinder swindler, like that man ruined lives. Like he really ruined, like, you know, with credit.
Because he was savvy.
He was very
savvy. Mr. Lee John.
Yeah.
You know,
that was fucking hilarious. She's like, Lee John.
And we gave him a whole government. Because the nickname is Legion, like the American Legion.
Yeah.
But there's one girl on TikTok, and I was just of course, I love the internet for this stuff.
Lee John.
Lee, so his first name, Lee, Lee, and last name, John.
That's what she thought his name was. Like, there's some people out here. But let me tell you, listening to her, like, so I did the playlist. And
thank you for telling me about the playlist, because then I put I was going out, clicking back, going out.
No. So I put my headphones, like, literally, my work day on Tuesday was, like, I put it on my phone and I just let it play. And my coworker was looking at me like, what? And I was like, man, I'm listening to my girl, Resta.
Is it Resta or Risa?
I don't know. Resta, Risa, Tisa. Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Thanks. So this lady, this poor woman, to be conned the way, not even conned, to be bamboozled the way that she was. And I feel like because it was during COVID, you know, nobody wants to be alone. And then add the COVID aspect to it, quarantining alone, you know, we don't want to spoil it for everyone, but please go on TikTok. And that's a smart thing. You can only watch it on TikTok. So go on TikTok and put her information, Resta Tessa, Risa Tisa, whatever, and go ahead and you can go through the playlist. It is a 50-part series. And she goes through, it's called Who the Fuck Did I Marry? And
highly recommend it.
Highly recommend. And you will see what this woman had to endure and what she found out and what happens when you do not trust your gut and your intuition because of fear. And her fear was being alone. And that's so heartbreaking and so sad because she is a beautiful woman inside out. You know, she is a godly woman, a woman of faith, and she faltered a little bit from her faith, not trusting her.
And what she said, I did not remain obedient because she knew what she needed to do. She knew what her values were.
Yep.
And I think she just kind of like got bamboozled because of the pandemic. Yeah. And I feel like we all had. She definitely had a case of pandemic brain, unfortunately. But I am so proud of her for sharing this with all of us because I think it's such an important thing. Topic for like man and female to be aware of because holy camoli.
Yeah, that was
we'll go deeper into it in a separate episode because
Possibly.
we got let's see.
We'll see how it goes.
Because we got a lot to say about it and we'll be here
forever. We were on the phone for like 45 minutes talking about it. I'm like, man, we will never get off this damn phone. Like, but this is a great way for a segue for us because we are talking about boundaries. It is a big topic. Anywhere you're on social media, people are just, either making jokes about boundaries or talking about how to set them and all of this stuff. And honestly, for me, like this is a very personal topic because setting boundaries has always been something that I struggle with and I continue to struggle with. And it's like setting boundaries in multiple parts of your life. But you get to a point where you're just like, that's it. I'm done. I'm over this. I hate feeling like this. And I am ready to take charge and take my life back. Because setting boundaries can be very uncomfortable. Especially when you are a chronic people pleaser. You are someone who truly wants everybody to like them because those were the thoughts instilled in you as a kid. Like if you're well liked, then you're a good person. Now I'm like, I truly don't give a shit.
Yes.
Because
welcome to the dark side.
Because it's crazy because you're putting on a facade for someone else, but not being your true self. And I truly feel that that's something so many of us struggle with because we're trying to fit this look, this aesthetic, so that people can like us. And at the end of the day, it's like, do you like you? Because you're the person who you came into this life by yourself, and you're gonna leave by yourself. No one's gonna be in the coffin with you. No one's gonna be, take me too. That person, I'm gonna go with you. Like, no, you are by yourself. And if the only voice in your head, it's yourself. And if you don't like what you're putting out there and what you're hearing, it's time to make a change. And setting boundaries is the first step to do so. So absolutely. I'm extremely passionate about this subject because I'm doing a lot of work.
Because you're in the thick of it.
I am. Yeah, I am.
You're in the thick of it. Is that the TikTok thing?
It's the into the thick of it.
I think so.
Something. It doesn't make words, but it sounds like it. That's a song, right? Okay. So when we think of boundaries, some of the things that you can, like, when you're looking at how you look at your life and you're like, great, I am burnt out. If you feel burnt out, if you feel that you are unaware of your identity, you don't know who you are, you don't know what you like, you don't know, the things that set you off, what your triggers are, those things. Who are the people you surround yourself with? Do they make you feel good, or are they energy and blessing vampires? And we are going to get really into that because I actually was in a situation that truly opens my eyes to the type of person that this person I was surrounding myself with. And I didn't like that. Trusting your intuition, trusting your gut, and reclaiming your independence, as well as just how is your emotional health? How is it? Is it like, do you need to do some work? It's just like mental health is just like physical health. Like, are you surrounding yourself with good people? Are you surrounding yourself with people who fill your cup? Are you surrounding yourself with people who are giving you motivation and not competing with you and constantly like lifting you up? Like, what are you doing to set the boundaries so that you can live? Your boundaries are a roadmap for the life that you want to live.
100%. A key thing to take away from what you just said, and they said it in that show, Live to 100, like the
Mhm.
Blue Zones. It's a documentary on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, another gem. And one of the huge things, because it's like, oh, what creates longevity?
Mhm.
People think, obviously, focus on, oh, eating healthy, working
Mhm.
out. A huge factor is your community.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. So we are gonna help you guide, like through this episode, guide you and give you the steps and the tools to find out who the heck you are 1st, and then that will help you channel who you want in your community, who you want sitting at your table.
Yeah. Now, the most important thing, and I had an amazing conversation with my therapist yesterday, is you may, like, especially now in the world of social media, who you're putting out there, that's what you are in control of. You're in control of showing what you want to show.
Mm.
Just because you show something does not mean that the other person on the receiving end has the right to feel that they can be a part of your life.
Mm.
Your life, your circle, that's a membership only, baby. Like, you don't have, like, the way you could do surface level showing up to people, smile, whatever. And those who you trust, those who have done the work with you, respect your boundaries, don't overstep, are clear and concise and have the conversation with you. Those have the membership to your life and in your inner circle. Because not everybody is your friend, honey. No. And I'm going to go into the energy vampire story because it literally shocked me to my core, but it shouldn't have, because this individual is very like that. So we were chatting about just, life and just how
I need to be comfortable with it.
How tired, being a mom is and everything, and wanting some help and all of that. And this person took that little sliver of vulnerability and twisted it around and was like, my spouse does X, Y, and Z. My spouse is out here doing this and this and this, and so phenomenal and so amazing. And that, kudos to you, baby. Kudos to you. But that very little sliver, and the look on this person's face was like, yeah, I love seeing other people struggle so that I can go and talk about how amazing my life is. Those are the people that have crossed boundaries and you don't need in your circle. And I was mortified to feel that someone who's claiming to be my friend loved hearing that struggle. And
I'm like,
yeah.
I have so much to say, but I'm gonna
and I was just like, great. So now I know a boundary. If somebody, for me, is going to be in my circle and not judge, compare, or get off of my struggles, then that's great. You are part of my inner circle.
Right. And then it goes also hand in hand of guiding you and also holding you accountable. Like, that's not how it should be.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening, XYZ, to move forward in a positive direction. And I'll just be like, your life fucking sucks. Sorry for you.
Yeah.
Because then that's not a person that's like, oh shit, you're in the fucking trenches. Let me give you a hand and let me try to help
you out.
Pull you out with how I can.
This is literally like
throwing fucking dirt.
Yeah, this was Scar and Mufasa. Like, yeah, you keep struggling so I can feel better about myself. And I'm like, that's a sad way to live.
It is, because I'm gonna say on the other side of it, fucking dirt clearly. On the other side of it, how that person is living their life is very unfortunate, and again, I'm glad that you've realized that, that's not in alignment with how I'm trying to grow.
Correct.
Because I feel like that person is gonna fucking hit a hard wall one day, and it's gonna be like, oh shit. And unfortunately, at least like for this community, it's gonna be too late.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it's already too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
But And again, I believe in people not giving people the benefit of the doubt. I stopped fucking doing that. Stop. I believe people can grow and change on their own terms.
Yeah. They need to want to do it.
Right. Because again, that person like being an acquaintance or whatever, you like, oh my God, like, but you can do this, you can do that. But at the end of the day, again, you can sit here and guide that person, give them again all the tools and all the resources. But that person truly, and that applies to everything, even our own children, they literally have to
want,
like you said, that self-awareness and like knowing.
It's the phrase, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't.
Now I understand it even more. Yeah, even more and more.
Now, how to set healthy boundaries. So here's your boundary, right? Self-acceptance, self-knowledge, and self-comparison. Self-compassion.
I was going to say self-comparison. How do we do that? Self-comparison can be good because you compare yourself to who you were
before,
a month ago,
and showing how much you grow. Yes. So self-compassion. Now, everything is self, and setting a boundary is that selfish, and like it's not selfless. It's selfish because you owe it to yourself. You need, like, you're showing up into the world and you're putting up your rule book. Your boundaries are your rule book. This is what I will accept. This is how you will treat me. This is what I will, like, I'm not going to apologize for how I'm feeling because your feelings are valid. If they are important to you, they are valid. If someone else says, you're being dramatic, that's your opinion.
Right.
That's your opinion. That may not bother you and that may not cross your boundary, but for me, this crosses my boundary. Right. This is what I need. So you are giving a rule book, a guide. This is how you're going to enter my life, and this is how you're able to stay in it.
These are my policies.
These are my policies and procedures, and we will act accordingly, or I will call my HR representative and you can be terminated. Like, you know.
Yes, I love it. All the HR.
And remember, it's your life. You hire, fire, and promote and demote accordingly.
And you can do it any dang time.
You want. If it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve you. If it does, you pour more into that.
Amen.
So I could go on and on and on and on.
Let's go.
But here are some things. Here are some things that I struggle with and that I'm working on. Learn to say no. Learn to say no. Be assertive. Be assertive with what you want. And here's the thing. When it comes to boundaries, it does not need to be in a combative and an aggressive manner. I feel like the boundaries conversation, it's like, oh, you're so rough, or you're so what's the term? Confrontational. No.
That's fine. If that's how you want to perceive it. But I am in that. I can't even say it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I'm respecting my boundaries.
Yes.
I'm respecting myself.
Exactly.
I'm being selfish.
So that's a perfect point, because if you allow people to cross your boundaries in your mind, you're like, I don't want to make them feel bad, or I don't want to be disrespectful, but they're disrespecting you. And you're allowing that. You're allowing someone to disrespect you. And that can come in little or big things. And keep in mind, self-respect is the only currency. Like it's your most valuable currency. And when people know what boundaries not to cross, it brings a lot of respect. Because they could sit there and it's not sneaky, like, oh, maybe we could try to do this. No, she doesn't like that.
Oh, light your ass on fire.
Yeah, like, no.
Don't, with my words.
Yes, don't do that, because she doesn't like that. And these are conversations you need to have. You need to have them because you need to put yourself first. And I'm sick of hearing, especially us millennials, we don't want to take up space. We don't want to ask for too much. We think that asking for the raise, or asking for, help around the house, or asking for just to be treated nice is such a taboo that we don't know about that.
Word. And it's crazy because I've been on that. I've been on that. And it feels so light.
A soft girl era.
Like it's obviously making me get to that era a little,
Yeah.
I'm skipping and hopping over a little more jolly because I've been thinking a lot and checking people and addressing people for a while now without even honestly realizing what that has led me to. And again, you have to take those initial steps forward. I'm telling you, sometimes you will take one step back, but at the same time, you take one step forward, or it may feel that way. But I promise you, and especially when you address someone that has crossed the boundary for you, the key thing to pay attention to is how they respond.
Yes.
Because I remember the first person, very close person, ex-close person that I had to address. I had this person on a pedestal in a sense of the way they communicated, the way they responded to crisis, the way that they were resilient, tenacious, all these things. So I was like, okay, this is a person I could address and have a hard conversation with without being confrontational, but at the same time, I'm going to keep using Reese Teesa's word, graciously addressing this person. And the response that I got back, I was like completely taken back. But again, goes to just having zero expectations of others. Hold yourself accountable, have expectations for yourself. But again, the way that they responded, I was just like, interesting. Again, it was
right.
It wasn't defensive. It was very like a victim mentality. No apology, no actual sincere apology. So I was like, oh, wow, this person has no self accountability, no fucking self awareness. And these are all things that I'm working at right now. That means this means that God is not allowing you to step foot in the next chapter of my life. You're going to be in the back row of that movie theater watching my life. Because again, I know I'm here constantly sharing things publicly. So I know you can see what I'm doing with my life. But I've come to terms that that's okay. And that literally set the trajectory for me. That was the first stepping stone for me to continue checking people. And I guess I have checked people in the past. Remember that story that I told you about that? And I've been checking people without, again, being aware of it. That again, it has led me to now in 2024, because that incident that I just explained to you guys happened in 2018. And that was before I had Caleb, before we bought the new house. And it's just kind of, again, it's just like God is putting me in alignment with the right people and helping me, again, fire, demote, release, lay off people from my life. And then it recently happened again. And again, with another close person, we're going to go address it. These are the facts. That's another thing too. I'm going to come at you with the facts and not emotional opinions.
Correct.
I'm going to hit you with the facts, and then I'll explain how it made me feel. Because again, we are entitled to our emotions. But that's the principle that I'm addressing with is the facts. XYZ happened. Why did this happen? Da da da. And I'm going to see your reaction. And off of that, then I'll be like, okay. Note taken.
Yeah.
Bye. See you in the back row go sit in the back row with everyone else. You can continue watching my show.
Yeah.
You're just not going to be part of my table.
You're not going to be part of the cast.
Yeah. Or nothing, yeah. Or the production team and that. So.
But it's easy to say like, oh, you get up and you start setting boundaries but it's hard work. And we have some steps that we'll put it in the show notes, but start your day with limit setting intentions. So it could be one thing at a time. Like today, you're not going to say sorry. You're not going to say sorry for not being able to do a task, for not being able to commit to something that somebody's asking you that'll, like you were looking forward to doing something else like that. You're not going to say sorry for things. Like even I've become so self-aware that when I'm walking, instead of like, when you not bump into someone or like someone's like in the way or something when you're shopping and you're like, sorry, I'm like, excuse me,
Yep.
Excuse us when I have.
And then just make detail because that's what I've always said. Like even like like it happened in Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
Those aisles can be very tight, and people are like one person's looking that way, the other person's look that way, and they're like you have to cut right through. I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
I've always said that again.
Yeah. And I'm always like now I'm like, gosh, excuse me. What do you need to be sorry? And then when people say sorry to me, I'm like, don't say sorry. You don't have anything to be sorry about. And I've been doing that with my kids. Like yesterday, Oliver broke a top and I heard it and he got so scared. And it's like a little trinket. It wasn't even anything serious. And I had to sit there and mentally think of me as a little girl when I would have an accident and my mom would lose her shit.
Yeah.
And I sat and I'm like, okay, what's my son's boundary? How does he want me to respond to him? Because clearly he made a mistake. And he's like, and I'm like, Papa, what happened? I'm like, are you hurt? 1. Are you safe? Are you hurt? No. He's like, I'm so sorry, Mom. That's fine. As long as it was just a trinket, it's fine. As long as you're okay.
He was already aware that it was broken.
Yeah.
Okay, like,
and I'm like, and I told him, I'm like, you don't have to hide it from me. Just tell me, Mommy, I broke it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, you don't have to say sorry, puppy. I know it was an accident. I know.
Like the first sorry, it's okay. Yeah. And you're aware, but
he was just like,
continue.
And I'm like, why are you so like on edge? So there's that. Number 2, acknowledge what you gain by setting boundaries. So make a pros and cons list or just make a list. If you said no to helping with XYZ, how would that make you feel? Would that free up some time for you to just sit and relax? Would it, take a big burden off of your shoulders? Would you be able to spend more time with family? Like those things, like really acknowledge what you gain with that freedom. For example, if you have a family member that's constantly asking you for money and you're like, no, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. What is that going to get? It's going to gain a couple $100 in your pocket because you're not sitting there with freaking freeloader. Define your priorities. No one knows your priorities than you.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's self-awareness.
And you need, just like when you're praying or when you're putting out into the universe what you want, and it's like, be specific, be ruthlessly
and the details.
In the details. Like we want, like you want to know everything.
Right. Like an example, let's say you want to get, we could use a house as an example, but let's do a car that's a more, I guess, easy, more attainable than a house right now, let's say. That car.
Yeah.
What color do you want that car to be? The interior, what do you need it to be? How many, people do you want it to fit in there? What kind of dashboard do you want?
What features?
Do you want it to be touchscreen? How do you want to charge your phone? The cup holders, how many cup holders do you realistically need for your daily lifestyle? The storage, the trunk, the tires,
everything,
every single thing. And if the type, do you want the windows to be tinted? Do you want them to be frosted? The sunroof, do you want it to open up all the way? Do you not want a sunroof? Like that crazy specific detail of everything. And you literally need to sit there and do that work, whether it's in your brain, whether you engrave it in your DNA or you engrave it in your handy dandy notebook.
Yeah. Communicate directly, clearly, and often.
Communication.
Because that avoids when you speak your needs, when you speak out your needs and you're constantly like, this is what I need. This is what, or like, hey, we had this conversation once before, and often, like beating a dead horse, often, clearly, because then there is no room for crossing that line. There is no room. Like, no, we've had this conversation.
Right.
And you deliberately and clearly decided that you were going to go around my boundary and not respect it. And I can't fuck with that.
And now I'm checking your ass.
Exactly.
Now I'm gonna, what is it?
I'm gonna write your ass up.
No, your review.
Yeah,
your yearly review.
Behave accordingly, people.
That last quarter, you fucked up, even though quarter 1, 2, and 3, I told you what you needed to do.
Yep.
You still ain't fucking do it.
Yep.
Bye.
Pay attention to your needs. What fills your cup, what drains your energy, who fills your cup, who drains your energy, what is needed in your toolbox to help you process your emotions, help you navigate life, because life is hard, but when you set boundaries, it's a roadmap for you to really say, this is how I want to live it. This is what works for me, and that's okay. You know?
And it goes back to our love language episode as well, like knowing what is your love language.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that also helps. Again, those are the building blocks to boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
It's imperative, and again, it's about that self identity. So, like, again, things that make you who you are. And again, love languages also evolve and grow and change, and that's the same thing that you should be doing yourself every year, whether it be on New Year's, whether that be on your birthday. Like, okay, who was Cindy last year?
Mm-hmm.
What did Cindy accept? What could have Cindy done better? Again, those self check-ins, and again, you mark it on your freaking calendar. Whether again you do that on your birthday or do it again on New Year's if your birthday is
twice a year.
If your birthday is at least more quarterly, weekly, like weekly check-ins with yourself is important, and this will help again, like create your self-identity and what you're willing to accept and not, and this will help you follow these steps that Nora is graciously explaining to us.
Start with small adjustments. So when you're running a marathon, you just don't wake up one day and you're like, I'm gonna run this marathon. That shouldn't go happen. No, you train. You train because you have to make those adjustments, and as you do them, they become habits. And then with habits, those become a part of your everyday. Like we learn the things and how we
creatures of
we are creatures of habits, and we have to make those small adjustments that are attainable so that we know, we can proceed through life doing this. This works for me. I like this. Next. This. I like this. Next. And that sets you on the trajectory for a more harmonious way of life.
Right.
And then
you need to, again, you need to go through those life experiences and able to process all this stuff, because if you're just sitting back and not doing anything with your life, you're gonna be like, I can't relate, because you're not having conversations with people, you're not, meeting the wrong people, because meeting those wrong people is actually a good thing, because it reminds you of, again, those boundaries. So you really need to do life. You need to be a participant of society, of life, engage with others, so you can see like, oh, that works for me. This doesn't. It's literally like test driving a car. Like you need to continue test driving every single day. And I love that with starting small.
Yeah.
Again, it could be as simple as, I don't know, I'm going to brush my teeth first before I shower.
Yeah.
Or let me shower first and brush my teeth.
You can do this like these little things. Once a month, give yourself a challenge. Or once a week, give yourself a challenge and just see how it makes you feel. And but remember, it takes 24 days. What is it? 24 days?
I think 21.
Yeah. Consistently to create a habit. So you do it every 24 or 21 days, and you see, is this something that I can see and it's like second nature, and then you can move to the next thing. But yeah, it's like a muscle. You got to work it. And again, practice self-compassion. It is so hard to sit there and
be your own critic. Yeah.
When you can sit there and say, like, I don't like this about myself. I love this about myself. I love how creative I am. I love, like I told my therapist yesterday, I'm like, I make beautiful things out of nothing. Like someone that doesn't have my kind of brain sits there and sees vinyl on a shirt and is like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, oh my God, I see this and this and this, and I can make this beautiful thing. And that's just how my brain works.
And that's another thing too, that's self-compassionate. It's be aware of your God-given gifts.
Yes. Like
hone in on that. Like, what do I enjoy doing? What is my talent? Mm-hmm. And then even from there, if you want to be an entrepreneur. Eso. Entrepreneur, you want to have a trap house on yourself.
The real term trap house. Word is trap houses, roaches included.
But it's like because based off of that, again, if you want to make money off of your talents, that's how you'll naturally show yourself, and people will naturally gravitate toward that because they see it's genuine. Like, oh shit, she really enjoys doing that. She found again her passion. Now here she is making bank out of it. And again, you have to sit there and have that alone time. And I'm like, okay, what gifts has God given me? And sometimes we have suppressed those gifts because we haven't set boundaries.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you gotta do this. You gotta do this work.
It's actually on YouTube, and it's an Etsy commercial, and I love it. It's like you have a God-given gift, and like when you say that you want to turn it into a business, people are like, who would buy that? Like, why are you even thinking of doing this? Like, but they're creating a space that people with these specific gifts like can bring it to the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's so incredible because it's like, I see certain things and I'm like, that is so cool. Like there's a girl that does bookmarks and she makes it out of resin and puts like flowers in it and whatever. And I'm like, that is so adorable. I love that. Someone who like is a good woodworker. That's amazing.
And then from there, it's just then finding your niche, finding that table, finding that community that likes that kind of stuff. Because I promise you, there is a niche in the world that is gonna like a product that you created in your head. And don't get out of your own freaking head, please, because that's what's suppressing your God-given gifts, and the world needs you and your talents and your gifts, and you need to create that confidence and that self-awareness to share it and just be you. And that goes back to Risa Tisa. Like she just sat there and she fucking was just so vulnerable and was just like, fucking, I'm gonna share it. And the world is fucking listening.
They are losing their minds because that's nuts. I will tell you this, and listen, personally, I'm not a Rihanna fan. I'm not a Rihanna fan. But this woman, to come from a tiny little island in Barbados, she is a billionaire now. But when she set her boundaries after her debacle with Chris Brown, shifted her entire life and said, I'm no longer going to be that mold that everybody wants me to be. Soul Search has her own style, has her own Fenty Beauty. She was like, but there's so many makeup companies, but there's no makeup company that's Fenty. Like Fenty Beauty needed a space.
And then from there she created her
lingerie line, and just keeps growing. Like even for the Super Bowl, she didn't even do anything. No, but when she whipped out that Fenty Beauty product, that shit sold out in seconds.
Brilliant. And it's that eventually that marketing talent will come out, but first you can't just think about the marketing without honing in again on that gift. Like what is your gift? What is your talent? And that can be in so many different ways. And you again put the phone down, put the social media down, and really, even if you have seen it before, but if it's calling you, just listen, be obedient and listen.
Pick up that phone.
Yes, and that's like also too, like you spoke about Rihanna. Like another celebrity that came to mind is Karol G.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and look at what she did. When she broke away from, being, I feel like, in the shadow of someone else. Girl, you freaking sold down that life not once but twice. Like, come on.
And it's so crazy in an industry, especially as a Latin artist. Like a lot of the Latina artists that I've been seeing, it's like, she dresses provocatively, whatever, but you don't get slutty vibes from her. I don't. Like, just see the, like,
I feel like that's my homegirl. That's my girl.
Exactly. And it's like you go off, but then you see like I love Anita. I think she's great, but I'm just like, she is dripping sex. Like that's all she knows. That's what I see from her. And it's like she's entertaining, but I'm like, how many more times do I want to watch you shake your ass? Like I get it, but like when I don't I understand Spanish a little bit, but when I did go to the Karol G concert, like I cried so much because I could see her passion and just how humble. And it's like, she was just like, gracias for coming to my show.
She's the cutest.
When the girls were over, it's like, she goes, what's that it wasn't TikTok, it was a YouTube thing. She was like, "Oh my god,
Oh,
it's
this is so amazing! This is so
amazing."
amazing! Yes, I think one of her songs.
I'm like,
But yeah, she's just being her authentic self, and forgetting that she again, not being intimidated by her accent, which is the same thing as Sofia Vergara. Like,
yeah. And she's she's
Brilliant.
gotten 2 songs now with Tiesto.
Yeah, yeah.
Like she is leveraging her she's leveraging her talent. She's like, listen, I'm a Latin artist, and she did do a song in English, and she sounded. I love that freaking song. I'm like, this is great. But she did one now with it looks like her and Young Miko are a couple in this.
I haven't watched.
Oh my god,
I know.
I'm like, can I be Young Miko? Who cares?
That's like the same thing like where Rihanna and Shakira did that video. That was a good video to me.
As you know, I'm not.
No, I know. But that video was really good.
You're a fan either.
But I am. No, but that video is really good, and it's just like it literally gives again like that feminine energy without it being slutty.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very sexual, but it wasn't like to the point that I felt uncomfortable, like graphic wise, like, oh my god,
I'm watching porn,
right? So I was just like, yeah, and I know what you mean. Like again, that's just society, just gravitating towards the wrong thing. Again, watch the war on children, please, because I get it now.
So we did unpack a lot today,
Right.
But it's just a topic that we are so passionate about, and we may do other little shorts or snips or something like that. But let us know what your non-negotiable boundaries are. Do some homework. So just sit there and what are your non-negotiables? What is it that if someone surpasses passes that crosses that boundary, you're like, no, that's disrespectful, and I'm done.
Right.
How to use that boundary.
Right. And also there's some things, obviously there's some people that you just don't need to address, but please address these people because people need to be checked, because people need to be held accountable, because
and we're your accountability partners.
Right. Like we need that, because let's say especially if a person is sitting here disrespecting you and walking around behaving that way and thinking that it's okay. You need to advocate. You're advocating for yourself, but you're also advocating for others. Like, who is that person's next victim? You know what I'm saying? So this is the importance, again, of knowing your boundaries and also checking people. And I'm all for checking people. Like, if you know me, you know me. And I'm also the queen of cutting people off. Like, I don't care. That's that. And I remember at one point, like, my mom had called me an extremist, and I was like, that's fine. Yeah. I was like, if that's what you want to call this, that I'm being an extremist for protecting my boundaries
and protecting your peace.
That's cool. And protecting like my household, like my casita. Yeah, that's fine. That's what you want to think. And again, that has come with building tough skin. Of course, I'm human. There's things out here that but then I'm like, nah. Obviously, initially, being that human emotionally, it's gonna affect you. But when you sit there, like again, process it, you're like, yeah, I probably could have reacted a different way or whatever, but then that also then prepares you for the next thing. That, like I said, the next problem that you're going to confront, the next person that you have to check. Yeah. And I wanted to definitely leave them with the quote about, this was on the Shade Room. I think they have like their inspirational quotes now. It said, stop letting them have a seat at the table when they only brought a to-go plate. So that pretty much means that, the same people that you're feeding will leave you starving, high and dry. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to that in different experiences that have happened. But at the same time, how to literally go about it and with setting the boundaries is that you have to save those seats for the ones who are bringing more than just an appetite to the table. And pretty much quality over quantity. And you just have to sit there and keep doing those reviews. Keep doing those check-ins, those family reviews. Literally consistent. This, like, jobs do this, and we say this all the time. Like, behave like a job, behave like a corporation. Like, you are the CEO of your life, and behave that way, move that way with people who are around you, people that you're letting into your corporation, into your home. Check them. do that background check. Reese and Tisa taught us.
All right, so we will catch you on the next episode.
Yes, we will.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, like, comment, share on YouTube, subscribe, and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
And as always, this is sponsored by
the
We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.